Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, back with another Crane's Chronicles, episode 3. So today we are going to be talking about another top 8 of mine in my Magic history. So this one is going to be about the Star City Games Invitational Qualifier in Lansing, and this took place in summer of 2019. That's when this one took. So this top 8, it's a definitely very memorable one for me. I'm going to give a little bit of backstory and then go into the tournament here. But before we get started, I'm just going to remind you that we stream about every week. If you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, it's going to be twitch.tv/Commander Crane. Obviously, if you're watching from YouTube, subscribe. I don't really care about the likes that much, to be honest with you. Just subscribe. Lets you know whenever we post another video. We also stream directly to YouTube as well. Just keep alerts, helps me out a little bit, nice to know that people are watching. So we're going to jump right into it here. So a little bit of backstory first with this event. So this tournament took place. It was the first weekend after the Hogak and Faithless Looting banned. So for those who aren't aware, Hogak, Faithless Looting were running rampant in Modern before this. It was all Graveyard. Main board Graveyard hate. It was disgusting. A disgusting format, especially for me being a Ponza player. So after Hogak and Faithless Looting had gotten banned, I knew that Ponza had a really good chance of being a really good position deck in the metagame, considering that there was going to be blue-white control, there was going to be Tron, there was also, Stoneforge Mystic also being unbanned. I thought I had a pretty good matchup against that. So, going to the tournament, I knew I was going to want to play Ponza. I switched the deck around a little bit than normal. I'll show the list here in just a second. But the other big thing was my previous best accomplishment had been, so this was around July, August, was this top 8. And my last good finish was in March of that same year. I got top 16 Cincinnati, which maybe I'll actually talk about that someday. But I had been lowering the curve a lot, and it really wasn't going well. I wasn't seeing a lot of good tournament success on Magic Online or in person. And after realizing it, I wanted to go back to my original lists. I know I talked about my SCG Baltimore Classic. I wanted to go back to that style. I wanted to go big Ponza. I wanted to go big again with Monthly Acid Moss instead of trying to go small. So I knew the metagame was going to be slowed down a little bit with Hogak, so I figured I could slow down a little bit myself and get some more value-oriented creatures and spells. So we went back to that shell, and obviously it worked pretty well since I'm talking about it today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it here. I'm going to go ahead and show the list, and then I actually have a tournament report that I wrote back when I made top 8. I don't remember that much about it, so honestly, it's going to be a new experience for me too. So we're going to go ahead and shrink this. You can see my bad interface here for a second. All right. This is not what I'm going to show. I'm going to show it from this. So this is the list that we played at the tournament. I actually at first didn't remember the list. Luckily, I went through my notes on my phone and I was able to find the list. Upload this here so we can just get a better visual aspect of what we were running. So just at first glance, this is going to be really similar to my list I ran in Baltimore, but it is going to be a little bit different, and we'll explain why here in a second. So our first, we'll jump right into the creatures, I suppose. So obviously, staples, 4 Arbor Elf, 2 Birds of Paradise. You always run those. 4 Tracker, again, same as normal. The one bigger difference here is we were playing 1P and Kiranalar. So this was one of the few times I actually did play this card. What actually made me want to play this card was, I'll explain this probably in another video someday. I realized, so for 3 mana, you sacrifice an artifact, deals 2 damage to any target. I realized you can sacrifice clue tokens and still put counters on Tireless Tracker. So after realizing that, I knew I had to play at least one. This card was really, really good against humans, bought me time. Obviously, had a little bit of removal on top of it. Overall, it was a great card. I'm happy I played it. As before, we have our 2 Stormbreath Dragons, like we did in Baltimore for the same reasons. Especially, I know Stoneforge Mystic was going to be really big that weekend, therefore white. We wanted to counter the white decks. But compared to Baltimore, we were only playing 2. That's because we were playing the one of Thundermaw Hellkite. So obviously, for those who've known me for a long time, know that Thundermaw Hellkite is probably not my second favorite card, probably the Carnage Tyrant, but at the time it was my favorite. And which actually, funny story, I have, I'll actually go to full screen for this. So from that tournament, I have the exact Thundermaw Hellkite right here, and got it in a nice little frame here. So I guess I'll explain real quick. I'll explain at the end why I have this framed, but I just wanted to give a little sneak peek why. But I have that exact one right here. I'll explain why it's framed later in the video, but just figured I'd, oh god, oh my goodness, I'm messing stuff up now. Okay, there we go. All right. Anyways, so one Thundermaw Hellkite. So I was mostly just playing this because it was my favorite card. But the other niche reason was with Urza, it's able to take. It's able to not Urza. Yes, Urza. It's able to take care of the tokens really, really well. Also being a 5/5 takes care of Jace the Mind Sculptor amazingly. So I mostly played it because it was my favorite card. If I was being more serious, I would have played another Stormbreath Dragon or a Glorybringer. Regardless, we played the one Thundermaw Hellkite. And then, end of the curve here, we've got two Carnage Tyrants. Did the same thing as before. We did cut down on one specifically for another card I'm going to show here in just a second, but honestly pretty standard. We're actually going to skip over the Planeswalkers and spells here. We're going to go into the artifacts and enchantments here. So, two Trinisphere. So, Trinisphere is definitely... I'm really happy that I played this in the list. It's now, to this day, still a mainboard staple. Being on the play with Trinisphere can mean everything. You can actually win games just by going turn 2 or 3 Trinisphere, followed with or before land destruction. Overall, Trinisphere, amazing card. A lot of decks really stumble to beat it. Finishing the enchantments here, we've got 4 Topaz Pearl, obviously a staple in Panza, and we got 2 Blood Moon. Normally, most people play 3 to 4. I was only playing 2 specifically because of the 2 Trinisphere here. But overall, Blood Moon does the same thing every time. So we're going to go to the Planeswalkers here. So I've got 2 Chandra Torch of Defiance. I decided to go up to 2 for a reason I'll explain in just a second here. Overall, card's amazing. And then this little one right here, Chandra Awakened Inferno. So, quick story time on this card. So, as soon as I saw this in spoilers, I knew I was going to play this card in Panza. It's always bounced between my main board and my sideboard since this card's been printed, but overall it's always been in my 75. So this card is exactly what you want, what Panza wants to be doing for the most part. So obviously having the static ability can't be countered is incredible. Incredible card. So +2, each opponent gets an emblem with. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. So obviously it gets the game over with a little bit faster. It's not incredibly fast, but it does get the job done, especially against control decks where they may stumble, it takes them a long time to really get some momentum going. Really good against them. -3, Chandra Awakened Inferno deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. Main reason that's really great is because against a lot of Panza's not as great matchups, like decks that go really wide, it cleans the whole board. It's really nice, especially against humans. That's kind of the main reason. And then the -X, Chandra Awakened Inferno deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die, exile instead. Which is obviously was really nice against like graveyard decks. It's also killed Thing in the Ice, which is something that this deck struggles with. Overall, this card is really good, really well balanced. It does really everything you need for Panza to be able to do, honestly. So that's why I played the one-off. So we go into spells here. We've got 3 Lightning Bolts, pretty self-explanatory. 3 Pillage, which at the time was relatively new with Modern Horizons being printed. Obviously a really welcome upgrade. Made a lot of matchups a lot better, actually, with Pillage. Being able to destroy artifacts or lands is very nice. We got 2 Stone Rains here. You still want Land Destruction Package. I didn't play 4 because the double red can be tricky sometimes, so that's why I only played 3. And then we cut down to 2 Acid Moss on this one. Main reason because we played one less so we could play Chandra Torch of Defiance. That was the main reason why. Or technically P and Kieran, but I cut a 6-drop also for that if I didn't already say that. But so that was pretty much the main board here, except for the lands. The lands exact same. I went back up to 23 lands for this one. Nothing different, except I do have 4 wooded foothills in this one. So we go to the sideboard. So we got 2 Relic of Progenitus. I knew there was a chance with graveyard decks since the best graveyard decks had been banned. I still knew that there was a chance like Dredge or something could show up, so I still played the 2 Relics. 2 Braids. Same as before, really good utility card for Panza to be playing. 2 Dragon's Claw. So, this was a very interesting part of the sideboard. I was predicting that there was going to be a lot of burn, so that's the main reason I played 2 Dragon's Claw. That's the sole reason why. It was definitely awkward. I never ended up needing to board them in, but I'm so glad that I brought them. 2 Fries. So this card, incredible card. It mostly was a way to take care of like humans. It was really good against killing like big planeswalkers like Teferi and Jace. Overall, great card. Fry, amazing sideboard card. We got our 2 Scavenging Ooze, same as before. Really great utility card. Not going to go into detail with this. 2 Angers, obviously really good against the graveyard decks. It's a good board wipe. So finishing up our 1-ups here, we've got 1 Beast Within. So Beast Within, obviously, same as before, takes care of everything. It destroys any permanent. 1 Shatterstorm, same as before, destroys artifacts, whatever you might need to play against. And 1 Wormcoil Engine. So Wormcoil Engine is a very interesting part of this deck. So with Wormcoil Engine, I had tested this card at a previous tournament, which I'll go into. It's my top 16 I got in Cincinnati. So one thing I struggled with all the way up until the tournament was if I wanted to mainboard this or the Chandra. I ended up going with Chandra just because I predicted a lot of blue-white control, so therefore I wanted to play the Chandra. But Wormcoil Engine, very great card. I did bring this card in quite frequently. It's a really easy swap with Chandra because most decks... sometimes I kept them both in and took out a Carnage Tyrant. It really just depended on the matchup. But overall, Wormcoil Engine, amazing card. So another fun fact is right at the day of the tournament, I did cut one of Rampaging Ferocidon for Beast Within. It didn't matter anyways. I never actually cast Beast Within in the tournament, but I was kind of sad that I took it out because otherwise I would have had a top 8 with a dinosaur. But I was going to play Rampaging Ferocidon mostly for the same reason. It really messes with the Urza decks. Of all the life gain they're able to get, it basically says, nope, you're not doing any of that. So that was the main reason I was originally playing that. So this is the list here. I will leave a link in the description if anyone would like to check it out for themselves. So we're going to go ahead and head right to the report here. So I don't think I really have much to say. This is the same list here. I don't think I have anything to say at least beforehand for the most part, except I did mention the Thundermaw Hellkite here, which I guess I can talk about that right now. So Thundermaw Hellkite for a long time was my favorite card in Magic, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to play in the last 5-drop slot, and I decided to play Thundermaw Hellkite. So when I first started playing competitive Magic, I had a lot of different goals I wanted to achieve, and one of those was top 8 with Thundermaw Hellkite in Modern, and I was able to get that, obviously, which was it was incredible. Throughout the tournament I did draw Thundermaw Hellkite a lot. It was pretty relevant a lot of the time. There wasn't any crazy top decks I had with it to win the game or anything like that, but overall it was actually a pretty solid card. I always would recommend Glorybringer or Stormbreath Dragon now instead of that, but so I actually quite recently framed this just to show this card, very near and dear to my heart. It's just nice to know that, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is regardless, sometimes you got to play not as good cards to maybe figure out a certain combination for it to work. Don't be afraid to play your favorite cards as well, though. Unless your favorite card is Charging Badger, always give it a shot. It might end up working out well for you. So that actually is going to be framed. See if I can point this right there. Right there is where that's actually framed. You can kind of see the little tack right there. But yes, so I figured I would show that ahead of time. This card total has also another top 8 with my friend Ray. He played my same list. I believe actually the next weekend he made top 8. So awesome card right here. Awesome card if you ever would like to play it. All right. So we're going to hop right into the report here. So again, I don't exactly remember the report just because it's been over a year since I wrote it, but I know it's going to remember a lot of things. So, yep, as I said, after the recent bannings and unbannings, I figured this style Ponza would be good again. Turns out I was right. So, round 1, Jund 2-0. Game 1 was pretty simple. Play Blood Moon, cast Carney T, easy win. Game 2 was grindy. He drew Liliana to kill my Carnage Tyrant, which was rough, but I followed up with a Bolt and a Blood Moon, sealing victory with Thundermaw. This one I actually do remember. I do remember in round 1, this one was definitely, it didn't feel that close, but it kind of was. Carnage Tyrant just took the game away for sure. That second game, I remember we were both on top decks, and I drew the Blood Moon, which was insane. But overall, that was I definitely drew really well that one. So round 2, Jund. This was actually probably one of my favorite matches I've ever played, to be honest with you. This might be one of the luckiest I've ever been in a round of Magic in my entire life. Game 1 started off well. Turn 2 Tireless Tracker into Thundermaw. I do remember actually he Assassin's Trophy the Thundermaw. I just happen to remember that. During the rest of the game, Jund did its thing. Yep, he definitely did. Was able to tempo me out with really good timed removal hand attack. Game 2, I kept the worst hand ever. 4 lands, Arbor Elf, Carnage Tyrant. Did I really keep that? How did I even win this? All right, let's keep reading. Turn 1, cast Elf. He cast Inquisition. I revealed Carnitine lands. I don't remember that. Next draw was a Blood Moon. Oh my god. Oh, are you past me? I cannot believe that. That's ridiculous. See, this is what I'm saying, is you don't have to be good. You just have to draw well. Locked. Of course. Yeah. Can't beat Carnage Tyrant if that. Game 3 was super grindy against Ren and 6, ending with him swinging with a lot of creatures, pulling me to 1. Okay, I do remember this. I know he cracked a lot of fetch lands, and he had, the new Canopy Lands, Nurturing Peatland, I believe is the name of it, was dealing actually a decent amount of damage to him. And I remember this, my opponent's at 13. I specifically remember because I cast Carnage Tyrant on my turn, I had a Relic in play, and lands in hand. That's all I had. And he he blood braided into another creature, and he full swung. I block, and he put me to 1. He put me to 1 life. He's at 13 life, tapped out. So I have Carnage Tyrant and Relic. So I knew I was going to have to draw a combination of... It basically had to be Kessig Wolf Run, or in a bolt... It had to be either Kessig Wolf Run, or a combination of Thundermaw Hellkite Bolt, or Double Bolt. It had to be... or Storm Breath Dragon, I think. Yeah, it had to be that combination of cards. So I specifically remember is, yep, right here. My only out was double Lightning Bolt, but it was the Thundermaw Hellkite as well. Draw step, Lightning Bolt, crack clue token, Lightning Bolt, swing for 7 match was mine. I do remember that specifically because I drew off the Relic. Well, I drew... the heck was the combo? It was I drew off the Relic and I hit Bolt. My draw step was not a bolt, it was a land, and then my second one was a Lightning Bolt. The one thing I didn't include on here, so I only played 3 in the list. I cut a Lightning Bolt in the sideboard. So those 2 Lightning Bolts were that was it. I only had those 2 Lightning Bolts right there. So that was insane. That was one of the craziest games I've ever had. But overall, that was really fun to go on to that. I also didn't feel as bad. The player I played against, he ended up making top 8 as well. I believe he actually went all the way to the finals, from my understanding. Or the semis. I actually don't remember. Something like that. I think it was semifinals. So anyways, I got really, really lucky. So 2 rounds in a row, I got pretty lucky. Round 3, post-ban Phoenix. Didn't expect to see that. Yeah, exactly. His main board of Braid took care of transfer in game 1 to seal the win. This was crazy because I turned to transfer. I'm like, there's no way he's going to win. Then he follows up with end step, abrading it, which definitely surprised me. And then he basically next turn played, I don't know how he even did it, but he got like 2 or 3 Phoenixes out, and I couldn't beat it. There was nothing I could do. So, game 2, he got locked out by a turn 2 Sphere and a barrage of land destruction, followed by Stormbreath Dragon. I do remember this. I remember turn 2, I believe I actually went turn 2, Trinisphere, turn 3, Monthly Acid Moss, grab another land, Stormbreath Dragon. It was insane. There was no way he was winning that. Game 3, the Magic Gods were with me again. So, I already remember, I don't even have to read this part, and I will exactly remember what happens. So, last turn of the game, he had a transform thing in the ice, and a Saheeli. I have 2 trackers with 3 clues in play. So what happened was I don't remember what life total he was at, but what happened was I needed him to attack with the Awoken Horror, because what I could do is I could clear the tokens with my Anger of the Gods, and then crack my clues, and I would have lethal, and then and as long as he didn't have like a gut shot or something, then I was going to win. So that's exactly what happened. is I had 2 trackers with 3 clues in play. He swings with Woken Whore. I take a go to 5. He's tapped out with 2 servos. I knew all I had to do was draw a land. That's all I had to do. I had 4 draws. I just had 3 draws. I just had to draw 1 land. And yep, if I draw the land, I cracked both clues and cast Anger with the first draw was the land and stole yet another game. This was insane. I drew that land, played it, cracked the clues, Anger, lethal. That was insane. Definitely reminds me of my game I had with Bant Spirits. I know I talked about that in my Baltimore video where I stole a win like that. But it was crazy. That was a crazy game. I feel like I stole 3 rounds. I feel like that's basically what happened. So anyways, we go to round 4, Jeskai Stoneblade. This was the easiest round yet. First game, Trinisphere Lock, Chandra Waken Inferno with Slow Death. Yes. So he was basically playing a Jeskai control shell with oh my god, I can't even remember. Stoneforge Mystic. So, yeah, he couldn't do anything. I just thrashed him. I played Chandra, and it killed him. Game 2, Blood Moon Lock. He ended the game with a Sword of Feast and Famine in play with 3 mountains. Yep. Basically, he didn't do anything. He played... I think he resolved 1 Stoneforge Mystic. I followed up with Chandra Waken Inferno. Killed it. Then he does nothing. He plays the sword... And then I just ticked up Chandra, and that was really all it was to it. Chandra, both games, was able to finish this one off, which felt really nice, considering nobody even considered playing that in Modern. But yeah, that was definitely my easiest matchup I ever had right there. So 5 and 6 intentional draw. I went and had delicious Mexican food. Waiters seemed kind of rude, but that's fine. Yep. So I was able to intentional draw my last 2 rounds since I was locked for top 8. Got some Mexican food. I want to say... I had some Flotas Mexicanas. I don't remember what I got exactly. But overall, it was pretty good, though. It was nice. It was right next to the card shop. So it was kind of hard not to smell it in the parking lot. But went with a couple guys. It was really fun. Actually, it was great. I think I might have gotten food with the person I drew with in round 5, I believe. So anyways, made it to the top 8. Overall, it was pretty awesome. I was definitely excited. You know, first week with new meta, making top 8 was amazing. And then I guess I'll finish the sad report here. So quarterfinal, Scape Shift 1-2. So Scape Shift, for those who don't know, is Ponza's best matchup. The only problem is my deck was actually a little weak to Scape Shift because I was only playing 2 Blood Moons. But overall, I didn't end up getting it. I had really bad hands, honestly. It was not suited. It wasn't really suited for anything. I actually had terrible hands. I knew the player I was playing against. I did end up getting revenge that next week, which maybe I'll talk about that one someday. But overall, it stunk losing to this, but I guess I'll finish the report. I know what you're thinking. How did you lose? It's our best matchup. Apparently, my luck ran out in the top 8 because I couldn't get Blood Moon in games 2 or 3. I had to mulligan to 5 in games 2 and 3 as well with no 1-drop all 3 games. Wasn't fun losing to a good matchup, but I was very lucky to even make it there 4-1 and 2. I didn't feel bad. I feel like I stole those first 3 rounds, so I wasn't upset at all with losing. Honestly, that top 8 would have been really rough for me. I believe my semifinals would have been... It was either the same Jund player from before or 4-color cat combo, which I knew I wasn't going to beat that. So overall, it was really nice, though, to make it. It definitely stunk that I didn't make it farther, but overall, I was really happy. I was happy with my play. I got really lucky those first couple rounds. I had some really nice draws, but overall, it was a very nice tournament. This is the last top 8 I've had with Ponza. I plan on maybe getting one more in again someday, but for the time being, this is my last one I have. So I've just got just a couple small things I'd like to share with you. So I've got some original picks here from what? Why isn't it letting me view it? I just viewed it. What the heck? Where's my trash folder? Did I just move that to trash? No. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, crap. Okay, here, let me zoom in here. I didn't mean to do that. Let me fix that real quick. Let me see if I can find it. What the heck is going on right now? Okay, I'm gonna try and while I'm doing this. So I do plan on posting more videos very soon. What the heck? What is going on with my internet right now? It says the password changed. I'm right here. I didn't change it. So, crap. Where's the trash folder? Can I get my trash folder? Oh no. Okay, so I guess I'm not gonna. Let me see if I'll try and pull up on my phone. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it here, but so I did not expect this to happen. But anyways, so I plan on posting more videos to YouTube here really soon. I do plan on streaming more. It's been tough just with holiday season because I do work retail, for those who don't know. So it's definitely been challenging to be able to stream. So I do plan on hopping back on that really soon. That's the plan. I know I've been struggling a lot. I also do plan on posting more Pokemon videos. My issue has been my capture card actually broke. So I do plan on getting a new capture card here soon, and then we're going to be doing some playthroughs. We're going to be doing some other stuff. But, okay, I was able to pull it back up here, so let me go ahead and fix that. I do apologize for that. I don't feel like editing this. It's just going to be all raw. So, okay, so the first one I've got here is I've got our top 8 sheet here. Let's see, that's August 31st. Okay, so yep, there we go. There's yours truly in the 4th seed. I ended up playing against Daniel here. He was the one I lost to in the top 8. But here was our top 8 here. Honestly, it was a pretty stacked tournament. For those who are in the Michigan area, do know a lot of these players. There's some there's a lot of good talent here for sure. But overall, so this was the standings here. I just wanted to show that. Second one here, that's myself playing in the top 8 here. That's my nice fancy playmat I've got there. Yep, so there's me losing. But so the last picture I want to show, this one's honestly really funny. It is somewhat related to the tournament. I know in either my first or second episode of Crane's Chronicles, I did talk about how a lot of players did not like me for a long time, and that still is the same way for the most part, but I had to show this next one because this is honestly just so funny to me. So this gentleman, after the tournament, I got home, he sends me this message. Mind you, I don't know this person. He says, "Dude, you suck at Magic. Tournaments are no place for scrubs. Get a new deck." So I text back, "I'm sorry," as in like, "I'm sorry?" Then I ended up blocking him. I didn't even want to deal with this guy. But again, I don't know this person. I don't ever remember meeting this person. I don't know anything about him. So it was funny to receive this message. But I didn't let it stop me or anything. Obviously, it was still a great win, especially with the deck that I revamped myself. It's just this stuff's funny right here. I didn't even know who that guy was. I don't even know if he knows me, to be honest with you. So, it honestly still makes me laugh to this day. But anyways, that's all I've got for you. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, those who stayed all the way through the video. I really enjoy telling these stories. I think it's really fun. I know a lot of people don't really know a lot about my Magic history and stuff, and I always love talking about that stuff. I think it's really fun. But overall, I'd like to thank you for joining me. For those, again, I'm going to say this, like I said at the beginning, for those who aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Go watch some of my old vids too. This is my 3rd episode of Crane's Chronicles. I do got 2 more that you can also watch. I do talk about my first big top 8 and then my favorite top 8 as well. I do plan on maybe doing some non-Magic stories here pretty soon. I just gotta think of some, honestly. But overall, thanks for joining, and I hope you guys join me on my next video.